This is your one and only spoiler warning here at the beginning of the video because I literally ruined the entire ending of the whole gosh dang show. So, go watch the anime and come back, but if you've already seen it, let's get into the video. Yo, it's Dono, and April is a pretty important month for us anime fans. It's the beginning of the spring anime season, it hosts important birthdays for people like BOKU and Mei Hatsume, and it even has Anime Day on the 15th. But for those of us who have seen Your Lie in April, it's a bit of a bittersweet month. Your Lie in April has touched me emotionally in ways that not many other shows have been able to do, and it's a show that I'd never thought I'd ever get into. Honestly, when it came to watching the show for the first time, I didn't expect much of it. It seemed like a relatively generic romance anime. For example, guy meets a girl, they flirt, go on adventures, and do stuff for a few episodes, falling in love along the way of course, and eventually they confess their feelings for each other, and live happily ever after. Unless your love is war, and you leave us all hanging with one of the most unsatisfying and... That's an entirely different story for an entirely different video. Let's move on. In the end, it was Your Lie in April's reputation that finally got me to pull the trigger, sit down, and watch the dang show. When you first dive into the show, there's so much to get into, so many twists and turns, ups and downs, and overall it's just an emotional roller coaster that I was not prepared for at all. When we first meet Kosei, our protagonist, it's 2 years after his mother has died. He's nothing out of the ordinary, a seemingly normal high school student, but in reality he's broken, abused, and unable to play the piano, the instrument that he dedicated his life to, and, well, that's one hell of a hook. Before his mother's passing, he was an amazing piano player, a prodigy even. He was good enough to the point of which he could go and play abroad in Europe and all of that jazz. But then, how did he get to where he is now? Well, we find out later that this is because of his mom, Saki. After she died, Kosei was unable to hear the notes that he played due to the mental trauma she caused. She was his piano instructor, and she was extremely strict about it. She forced him to play for hours and hours at a time and mercilessly beat him for even the smallest of mistakes. Overall, she's just a trashy human being, okay? Though we do find out later that she had her reasons, although they might be freaking terrible. She found out that she was dying and she wanted to leave her son with something that would help him for the rest of his life. What she didn't realize is that she spent the rest of her life beating the ever-loving crap out of him, which didn't help anyone at all. In reality, what this ends up doing though is causing Kosei to see the world without color, or meaning. Monochrome, if you will. Of course he has a few close friends, and life isn't immensely terrible, but there are still things that are left to be solved. And of course this all changes the day that he meets Kaori. Now this is the person that caused the tears of hundreds of thousands of people, and I was no different. I knew before I watched the final episode that it was the last one and there wouldn't be another opportunity for the two to play together. But I still had hope that she would complete the surgery, that she would recover, and we'd get our happily ever after, but it never came. And that's dark. That's so unimaginably dark, but what we get from her death, the message that she leaves not just Kosei, but to all of us, is to cherish life. Cherish the ones that we love and hold dear, and to reach out and try to achieve the dreams that we hold near and dear to us in our hearts, because you never know when that opportunity can be taken away from us. Even after Kosei meets Kaori, he has to relearn what music is to him and to break away from his mechanical and strict way of playing. We see this evolution throughout the story as he plays in different competitions, brings on an apprentice, and eventually learns to play with his heart instead of religiously sticking to the score. And as a certain chrome-faced man would say, love with your heart and use your head for everything else. But I guess in this case, it's play with your heart. Overall, this is an amazing show and I highly recommend rewatching it. Or, I guess, watching it for the first time, but how dare you spoil yourself, you animal! But in all seriousness, if you like romance anime or you just feel like crying, rewatch it. Check it out. It's an amazing show. That's going to be pretty much it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and yeah, Tsubaki and Wataru were there too. I guess. Peace!